Hello everyone. Today on elphenomeno.com we are launching a new section we have been working on for more than half a year, the interactive timeline of Middle-earth. You can find it in the main menu. We go here to timeline, and the first thing we see is a general view of the whole history of Arda. This timeline begins in the days before days, with the descent of the Valar into Arda and the first war against Melkor. And it goes all the way to the Fourth Age with the death of Eldarion. In total, we have included more than 1500 events, not only from the Lord of the Rings, but from the whole history of Middle-earth, extracting the data from the books and from the material we have been compiling over all these years. As you can see, the screen has several different parts. At the top here is the general line of the ages, which let us move through the different periods. We can go forwards, we can go backwards. As you can see, it's totally interactive. Okay. We can jump from one age to another and place ourselves at a specific moment in the history. Below, here to the left, we have the list of events. Also, this part is totally interactive. We can scroll up or down and go through the different events. Each one of them is clickable, and then you can see the event in there, also synchronized with the top bar. For example, we can go to some event like the downfall of Numenor, or move forward to the later events of the Third Age, and this is where one of the most special parts of this tool begins. As you can see, from the Third Age onwards, since we already have the interactive map of Middle-earth on the website, many events also show in the map. So if we click on an event, the timeline will show us where it happened. So if we click on an event, the timeline shows us where it happened, whenever that location is known or can be placed reasonably. For example, here we have selected the disaster of the Gladden Fields and see the place where Isildur died. It also works the other way around. You can click on any event and then it will be highlighted in the chronology here. Another very important thing is that the timeline is connected with the Phenopaedia. Each linked event let us go to the corresponding entry, read more information, and then return to the timeline. You can see that the events will take you back to where and when that happened. And now I want to show you one of the features that we like the most, the character views. Let's look, for example, Frodo. As you can see in the Phenopaedia, this is the family tree. You can see the timeline of a character, and that timeline shows you the itinerary that that character followed throughout his life. We can see at the beginning the first events, like when he moves to Brandy Hall after the death of his parents, and when Bilbo adopts him. And after here, as you can see, the interesting thing is that as we move through the events, we scroll down, we can also see the journey that this character did on the map. So it becomes really easy to understand how the character moves across Middle-earth. So with Frodo, we can see the route that he followed, the departure from the Shire, they get to Rivendell, the Quest of the Ring. Here is Moria, Lorien. Here's where they get to Mordor, destroy the ring. Okay, and then and then the journey back. Here's where he goes back to Rivendell to visit Bilbo and returns back to the Shire, and the scoring and then when he fell sick again, and finally when Frodo and Bilbo set sail with the three keepers to the Undying Lands. This can be done with many other important characters. Aragorn, Gandalf, oh my god, Gandalf is massive. Bilbo, the Witch King, whatever you pick your favorite, and then you can try it. You can see that the timeline is available both in English and in Spanish, like the rest of the phenomenon. And this matters to us because we want the website to keep growing as a useful resource for readers, fans, students, content creators, researchers of Tolkien's work. So yeah. We also want to make clear that this tool will continue to grow. Right now the map representation works for the Third Age onwards, as we have explained, because that is the map that we currently have published. But as we add maps for other ages, we will also add the locations for earlier events. The next major step will be the map of the Second Age, including Numenor, and later on we want to keep expanding all this so that the timeline, the maps, and the Phenopaedia become increasingly connected. Before we finish, I would like to remind you of something. El Fenomeno has been online for more than 26 years. On the website you can find news, you can find articles, features, interviews, the Phenopaedia, that is our massive online encyclopedia, maps, games, images, videos, the languages section, and now also this interactive timeline of Middle-earth. We do all this so that elfenomeno.com can be a useful resource for everyone who wants to look up information about Tolkien and his work in Spanish and English. If you use the website for your videos, articles, essays, talks, research, please cite us as a source. It helps us enormously, and it also lets us know that all this work is genuinely useful. You can also write to us if you find an error, if you think that an event is missing, or if you want to suggest an improvement. A tool like this will always remain alive, and we are sure we will keep adjusting things with your help. And if you would like to support the maintenance of El Fenomeno, remember that we have a Patreon. You can contribute from just €1 a month, and some tiers include early access to new tools and projects. In fact, the higher tiers give early access to new features such as the timeline or the maps that we are working on. And that is all for now. The interactive timeline of elfenomeno.com is now available. Go on, try it, explore it, look it up, find your favorite characters, and let us know what you think. Thank you very much.